if you like. Don't go and fetch enough firewood, just know you'll starve in this house. Once upon a time, in a quiet Igbo village surrounded by red soil and ancient Iroko trees, there lived a man named Pa Nkem. He was a respected elder, a wealthy farmer with large yam barns, and a man blessed with strength, land, and 2 wives. His first wife, Theresa, was a peaceful woman. Soft in nature, slow to anger, and loved by everyone in the village. She bore Pa Nkem, a son named John, a quiet, respectful boy who looked just like her. But as the years went by, Pa Nkem, like many African men, desired more children, especially sons, to carry his name. So he married a second wife, Amaka, younger, beautiful, and full of fire. Amaka gave birth to a son, too, named James, and from that moment, the 2 boys grew up as brothers, inseparable like yam and oil. They played under the sun, bathed in the river, fetched firewood, and even attended the same village school. They were like twins born of different wombs. Everyone admired the peace in Pa Nkem's home. Even Pa Nkem would often laugh and say, "My house is blessed. I have peace and 2 strong sons." But not all peace is perfect. Deep inside Amaka's heart, a quiet storm was brewing. She smiled with her teeth, but her heart was heavy with silent envy. She noticed how the villagers always said John was smart, quiet, and well-behaved. She noticed how Pa Nkem still gave Theresa the first portion during festivals. But she waited, patiently. One cold Harmattan morning, Theresa fell sick. It started with a cough, then fever, then vomiting blood. Herbalists tried, neighbors prayed, even the village priest came. But on the 7th day, Theresa died in her sleep. The village mourned. John cried like a child who lost everything, because he did. His mother, his protector, his safe place, was gone. Amaka was the one who helped arrange the funeral. She cooked, cried, and pretended to care. But inside her, a wicked smile had already formed. After Theresa's burial, Pa Nkem, broken with sorrow, leaned more on Amaka for comfort. And that's when Amaka showed her true face. She started with subtle things. She would cook and give James meat and leave John's plate plain. When they went to the farm, she would order John to carry the heaviest load. She began whispering things to Pa Nkem. "That boy is becoming stubborn. He's not like James. He doesn't greet me well. He disrespects me. Your late wife pampered him too much." At first, Pa Nkem didn't believe her. But Amaka was clever. Slowly, over months, she poisoned his heart. Until one day, Pa Nkem called John and told him he would no longer go to school. He would be assisting his stepmother in the farm and trade. Meanwhile, James continued his education and even enrolled into a boarding school. John watched his brother pack up his books and new sandals while he stayed back home, hawking bitter cola and groundnut across dusty streets. At night, John would cry alone. Nobody asked him how he felt. Amaka beat him for small mistakes. She tore his clothes, denied him food, and made him sleep on the floor. James, growing into a proud young man, began distancing himself. His mother's hate was rubbing off on him, too. Years passed. John, now a teenager, had nothing, no school, no love, no future. But one day, a miracle came to the village. A rich trader, Chief Ugonna, returned from the city, looking for a young boy to take in as an apprentice, a Nwa boy. The villagers, knowing John's humility and suffering, pointed at him. Chief Ugonna met John and liked him immediately. He asked Pa Nkem for permission. Amaka objected, shouting that John was useless and couldn't be trusted. But for the first time in years, Pa Nkem stood firm. "Let the boy go. Maybe this is his only chance." And so, John left the village, with only a torn bag and the memory of his mother's face in his heart. In the city, John flourished. Chief Ugonna treated him like his own child. He gave him clothes, shelter, and respect. He taught him business. John learned fast. Traders in the market loved him. They started calling him Nwa Chief. Years rolled by, and when John turned 24, Chief Ugonna settled him with a full shop, cash, and goods. John wept the night he opened his shop. He knelt and whispered, "Mama, I did not fail. He began planning to return home. Not out of pride, but to honor his father. Back in the village, James had graduated from university. Amaka was preparing for his NYSC. She would boast in the market that her son was now a graduate while that other boy was probably sweeping floors in Lagos. But her pride crashed like thunder when she heard that John was now a rich young trader, known across major markets, and that he was returning to the village soon with cars and gifts. That night, Amaka could not sleep. Bitterness filled her belly like poison. She went into the forest to meet a native doctor. "I want to kill him," she said. "He has stolen my son's glory." The native doctor gave her poison. When she got home, she prepared a large feast: jollof rice, pounded yam, goat meat, and egusi, the food John loved most. And she laced it with death. But fate has a funny way of turning tables. James returned from NYSC camp early, tired and hungry. He saw the food and ate with joy, not knowing death was hiding in his spoon. When Amaka came back from the backyard and saw her son's empty plate, she screamed so loud the village shook. "Jesus! James! My son!" He was already foaming at the mouth. The neighbors rushed in. James collapsed. Before help could come, he gave up the ghost. Amaka wept, tore her clothes, and ran into the streets shouting, "It was not for him. I meant it for John. Forgive me." The villagers gathered in shock. They summoned Pa Nkem. When he arrived and heard the truth, he collapsed on the ground. "What have I done? My son, John." And as the crying filled the compound, a car drove in. It was John, tall, confident, dressed in a kaftan, with bags of rice, money, wrappers, clothes, drinks, all loaded to bless his family. He walked into chaos. He saw people crying. He saw James's lifeless body. He saw Amaka on the floor, screaming. And then, he saw his father old, broken, and weeping like a child. Pa Nkem ran to him and held his leg. "My son, forgive me. I was blind. I let her destroy you." John lifted his father and hugged him tight. He, too, cried, "You are still my father. I forgive you." Amaka was banished from the village that very day. Stripped of dignity, she was sent away barefoot and broken. And John, he stayed. He rebuilt the compound. He gave his father a new house. He even offered to sponsor other poor boys in the village. But he never boasted. He lived with humility. Every morning, he would kneel beside his mother's grave and say, "Mama, your son made it. No matter how long it takes, the truth will always rise. The stone that was rejected can still become the foundation."